Hey everybody, I've gotten a few requests for our video setup, so I'm going to take a quick walkthrough on the smartphone here and show you what we've got going on. Starting at the board, we have an ATEM Television Studio Pro 4K. We went with a 4K mainly because it has the nice working surface here, and then we also don't have to worry about converting inputs. It's done automatically on the board, so we don't have to worry about frame rate or resolution or any of that. It automatically gets converted internally. We've got another computer here running ProPresenter 7, and that is kicking over actually 3 feeds into the board. It's kicking our lower thirds with a chroma channel. It's kicking over, so that's 2 inputs into the board. It's kicking over a full screen out of ProPresenter, and then we're capturing the second monitor over there, which on Sunday services is our stage display. But it's also nice because then when we have youth groups or anything in here, it's very easy for them to do a screen capture. So if they need to pull in a website or something from the computer, it's very easy to do that. And we've got the multi-view coming out of the ATEM right there. And then that is also duplicated over to our lighting panel there, so the person doing lighting can see what we're doing video-wise. We do have a PC right next to our ATEM here, and on that PC we're running the ATEM control software. The main reason we use that, have that running during a service, is so we can do exposure control for our 2 Blackmagic Pocket cameras. And then we also have a couple of little Marshall compact cameras up on stage, and we use their control software to set exposure, though exposure and white balance on those live as well. Also on this PC run by the streaming person, we've got our Resi Control Center website, so we can see what we're doing for streaming. And we also have controls for our AJ, or AHA Hilo, I think is the correct way to say it. We were previously using that for both encoding, therefore streaming, and recording. We are currently just using it for recording, and then we have the streaming still coming ability in it, so if we need it as a backup, if for whatever reason Resi wasn't working for us. We are going SDI going into the Hilo, which is right there, along with our power conditioner for all of our video setup. And then heading back there, we have the Resi array encoder for doing our Resi feed. We're bringing sound into the switcher as a matrix out of our soundboard. I'm not a sound guy, I leave that to someone more knowledgeable to me. So on Sundays, back here in our tech booth, we have someone running ProPresenter, streaming, switcher, and computer, sound, and lights. Let's do a quick walk through. Oh, one other thing on the switcher, we are using the aux output on the switcher is feeding our screens up front. 99% of the time, it's getting the exact same output as our streaming going to the web. We find that's a good fit for us, showing lower thirds, and then IMAG of whatever's on stage. Our room isn't big enough to need IMAG, but everybody seems to like it. It helps everybody feel connected. And then we also kick a copy of that is going to our nursing mom's room, and that's just the one output out of this board split into 3. We also feed some TVs in the lobby. The nice thing about that being on an aux input is, like when we're doing baptisms, we can also throw a camera on the baptismal and run that up to the screens and do differently. When we originally set up, we were running full screen graphics on the projectors, so then we would just route that number 6 input straight from ProPresenter to the screens. But we don't do that anymore. We find just duplicating our streaming feed on the monitor screens up there works really well for us. So let's walk up and take a look at our cameras. Our 2 main cameras are Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras. both the 6K versions. This tally light up here, originally it's a DIY solution I came up with that just uses little mini stick computers and 3D printed things, and it pulls off the ATEM via Wi-Fi. Blackmagic has since come out with the bidirectional converters right down here, and that'll allow us to pull the exposure and tally from the switcher. So the person running the camera, all they are doing is setting up the shot, zoom, and focus. All of the exposure is done by the person running the board from the ATEM control software. It works really well. It's simplified running our cameras and works great. We have the Canon, I believe that's the 70 to 105, there it is. Goes down to f4, it's our wide lens. And then on our second camera, which ends up being our main camera, that is a Canon 70 to 200, or sorry, 300. It's the f4 to 5.6 lens. And that works a nice good shot. We're about 50 feet from the stage here. The wide shot will get the whole room, so wider than the stage. And then this 70 to 300 gets us a nice tight shot on whoever is leading the sermon or singing. Let's walk up and do what we have for on the stage. On the stage, we're running two Marshall cameras. I believe they're the CV506. We'll check here in a second. To feed those, we ran an SDI feed up to our stage boxes pulled under here. Sorry, the Marshall CV503. They are both intended to be nice tight shots on our drums and our keys. We have since found that we kind of like having this one being a whole stage kind of profile view. The downside to that is the image quality out of the Blackmagic cameras is so good that even though this Marshall feed isn't bad, just compared to those Blackmagics, it just does not stand up. And we've got this one as our drum shots shooting over the shoulder of the drummer. So we've got the SDI feed going directly in there, and then we ran, it's just Cat 6 cable running from under our sound booth up here, and then we linked together two wires of that into this converter that comes with the cameras, and then it's just a USB outlet that comes out of the camera, out of the computer that runs the Marshall control software, and sends the exposure and white balance control to those cameras. So each camera has an SDI and a Cat 6 line coming to it, and then just power. And it works well for us. And then those two monitors one is the stage display, and then the other one runs the same thing as the projectors, so are streaming out basically, so everybody on stage can see exactly what's leaving the building. And you can see with my DIY tally lights there on top of the cameras, you can see the nice red glow. Well, you probably can't see it in this video, but on stage you can clearly see which one is live. And then on the back of the cameras, it shows both live and preview to the camera operators. If you've got any questions, let us know. It's kind of a cobbled together as we went. I don't know if I would do these same setup if we were starting from scratch, but it actually works really well for us. And we're all in everything, I think somewhere around 12 grand for everything. And we kind of did that in bits and pieces as we got the cameras and then the switcher and then the CV503 Marshalls up there. It just works well. And then we've just recently upgraded to the Resi, and we just have their social program, so that's just kicking out to Facebook and YouTube. Future, we might upgrade to directly embed that into our website, but we don't have the need for that right now. And then, yeah, we just got the ProPresenter set up as our downstream key, so we can throw that up. Oh, that one's actually, we're having problems. That works really well. I'd highly suggest that. That way, if something's going wrong, we can show everybody on the stream, hey, we're working on it. Sound is still coming through. Stick with us. And then we also have the ProPresenter overlay there, which is just our downstream key. And then we have a cut to our logo as another one if we need it. That's it. Let me know if you have any questions.